everybody. Welcome to
The Nightcap.
the Nightcap. We're on every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we just get on and we talk about everything dealing with love, relationships, dating, marriage, divorce. So pretty much everything.
Yeah, everything you can think of. Healing, dealing with people being single and how to navigate through that. So yeah.
Hey, look, we're always praying for y'all.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy. Like, dating is not easy. And we were just talking about that. Because I called him and I was just like, babe, what are we going to talk about tonight? Because I believe in being prepared. But normally,
I really want to tap into that though. Like anybody that's single, that's on the live, like I really want to know what's the challenges that single people are coming up against most nowadays trying to date. Like, is it hard to actually go out and find someone? Are you trying online dating? Like, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Philly? Like, what's the challenges that most single people are facing today? That's what I'm kind of curious
yeah, because
about.
on the way home we were talking, because like I was saying, I like to be prepared. You know, I'm one of those people that I'm gonna try to prepare before I go live. But the way that our lives have been going every week is that we just go with the flow, and the conversation kind of just takes us where we're supposed to go. So he doesn't believe in being prepared. So so we always just go with the flow. But yeah, we really want to talk to our singles, because we've had a lot of married people on our live, but we've also had a lot of single people, and we don't feel like we give our singles a chance to really talk, because we're always talking about marriage and all of that, which is great for future knowledge. But we want to talk about what the struggles are for you all now, so that we can kind of help navigate in any way that we can. And we don't know everything, y'all, but we are here to talk about it, start up conversations, start some thoughts to going, and go from there.
The keys to a good relationship. The keys to a good relationship, man. It varies depending on, you know what I'm saying, the people. You have to you have to find and figure out what works best for you and your partner. But one of the main keys I could say to lead to a successful relationship is you got to have a very, very open line of communication. Like, you have to be upfront and honest and open about, you know, any and everything. I feel like once you can create that space of being open and have effective communication with your partner, everything else you can kind of build on, because you're able to talk about it and come from a place of, you know, just trying to learn and make things better, and not from a place of like you may feel like a woman is nagging or getting on your nerves, or she always complaining about something. Those things like that, like learning how to effectively communicate with your partner, definitely goes a long way. Continue to date, you know what I'm saying, in a relationship. I know people who get in relationships and get married and stuff like that, and they stray away from the things that they used to do in the beginning. But, you know, for me and my wife, like, we continue to date each other like we are each other's best friend. And, you know, we literally have date nights like every night, watch movies and stuff every night. We always planning stuff, doing things with each other outside of the house. So you have to keep that too. Keep your relationship, you know, fresh. Don't ever get into a spot where you feel like you're just going through the motions, you know what I'm saying? Get complacent and comfortable. You don't ever want to be in that position.
And we keep the lines of communication open. Like, there's no judgment. So he can say whatever he wants to say. I can say whatever I want to say, as long as it's respectful. We keep that open. We don't make each other feel bad for anything that happens. Like, things happen. There are things that's going to happen in your relationship, in your marriage. There's challenges that's going to happen. But you have to keep in mind that you said till death do us part. So this is the person that you have decided to do life with. And that means whatever comes in life. Life is not always going to be easy. So when life gets hard, you have to make that decision to continue to go through life with that person. And that's the thing, y'all. We're walking through life together. We're not at a stopping point. When things get hard, people think, oh, I'm going to be stuck here forever. Things aren't ever going to change, this, that, and the third. But that's not the truth. Things do change. You have to keep walking through. Like even small baby steps are still steps forward. You know, babies don't just start off running and all of that. They have to crawl first. Then they get up, take a couple steps. But guess what? They're still inching their way towards their goal. So you have to keep that in mind with your partner, is that the communication, that has to be there. That honesty, that loyalty, that trust, that has to be there. If you have those things, you know, I feel like that it can work in your relationship. Now, somebody said, now you said you've been ministering to somebody who has been dating someone for 34 years. My God, now that's a long time. That's a long time to be dating somebody. So for me, what I would tell you with that is, first of all, where do they live, and what's the dating situation like? Are they living together? Because common law marriage used to be in existence. I know it's not anymore, but that used to say, like, if you're living with somebody for 10 years, y'all married. But my thing is, why are you dating for 34 years? Like, what's the goal? What's the end goal? Like, when you talk to them, what is the end goal? Is the end goal even marriage? Because if you're talking to two people that are happy dating and that's where they want to be, some people don't want to be married. You know, and I guess you just have to respect that. But if the end goal is marriage, like, what are you waiting for? Because 34 years, we could have fulfilled so much purpose together. We could have been walking out so much life together. Like, we could have been building some things together, and we're still separate, because you don't become one until you get married. So what are we doing? Babe, like, I told him, like, I'm not dating you for longer than, what was the time frame I gave you?
I don't remember.
I think it was like 3 years. Because I'm just like, you should know. Like, I feel like you should know after spending consistently. Now, we're not talking about those people who want to take breaks all the time. We don't deal with that. But if you're consistently spending time with people, after that period of time, like, you should know if you want to spend the rest of your life with this person. What have you been doing? Like, what have you been looking at if you don't know after that period of time what you want to do? And I'm not downplaying, because some people don't know. You know what I'm saying? So we're not downplaying that at all. Some people need to learn. But I feel like if you're consistently spending time with the person, you're getting to know them. You're getting to know what's good about them, what you like about them. You're growing together. Like, after that time, 3 years max for me, if you haven't figured that out, I have to go somewhere else, because, you know, what are we doing?
But a person that said they think it's fear from past trauma, it's hard for me to trust again.
You're looking for Mr. Right, and you feel like you have fear from past trauma, which is definitely understandable. That's not something that you're going to get over, like, right away. So, like, for me, I know I had to learn to trust again before I got over my past trauma. And we haven't really talked about our past traumas on the lives, but we all are family. So I feel like, you know, what happens in the family stays in the family, right? So, you know, past traumas, we could be talking about being cheated on. We could be talking about abusive relationships, like all of that. So depending on what you're talking about, it's hard to get over certain things. Like me, I've been married. This is my third marriage, so I've been married 2 times. Y'all already know that. So the first marriage was abusive physically. The second marriage was just emotionally and mentally abusive for me, and I couldn't stay in those situations. So for me, I was one of those people that said, I'm never getting married again. I was one of those never get married again. I'm going to be out here playing men like they playing women. I'm going to just date, have free meals, let men pay to take me out. And that was going to be my life. Like, that's just what I thought I was going to do. But God had a different plan for me. I ended up meeting this man right here who changed my life. Like, he made me feel safe again. It's all about, too, how your partner makes you feel. Do they make you feel safe? Do they make you feel like you can trust again? Because my wall was up. Like, everybody knows that when we met, my walls were up. I was trying to let go. You know, I was healed from that, but things would trigger me. Like, he's not a trigger, but things that he would say might trigger me. And so, you know, I went back to that stuff, but then I had to snap back. Like, he is not that person. He's not the person that hurt you. He's not the person that did that to you. And it's an everyday healing process. You're not just going to get over it the next day. So a lot of people think, oh, I experienced that, I should be over it. You're not just going to get over it. That stuff takes time. Like, healing takes time. So, you know, as long as you're doing the work, sis, as long as you're working on yourself and consistently staying prayed up and doing what you need to do, I believe that those are things you can work through, because those are things that I've worked through.
I knew she was my wife. Like, it didn't take long for me. Like, within the first couple weeks, first couple days of us having conversation, because we literally was talking to each other like all day, every day when we connected. So for me, I already kind of knew in my mind, you know, what I was looking for, what I wanted. And after I connected with her, it just went to a whole different level. So I knew within like a couple of weeks time, like, yeah, this is where I wanna be at. And then I think by December, like, I fully fledged knew, like, okay, this is gonna be my wife. So I was ready and knew I wanted to be married to her, like, well before, like, she knew or was in the space where she was like, okay, I want to marry this man. Yeah, I don't think she was, like, ready until, like, what?
A month before you proposed.
Yeah, it was like June. But for me, I knew, because, you know, I said this before on the live, like, for men, it doesn't take long for a man to know, you know, what he wants. And if you, just like women have a checklist and different things that they want to have, you know, or see in their man, men have the same thing. And I love the way from the beginning of our relationship, the way she made me look at life. She did the same thing for me as my mom did for my dad when they got together. Was my dad always said my mom made him look at life differently. She made him, you know, look inside himself and see the type of man that he wanted to be. And that's what she did for me. She gave me all of those things. I really love the fact that we connected on like a best friend level first. And that just continued to grow. And I was just like, yep, this is it for me. This is it. I get so crazy because just reading her profile and stuff on Tinder.
That's how we met y'all, like, for the new people.
I just knew then, like, okay, she's somebody special. Because at first, I thought she was a catfish for one on Tinder. Because she was so beautiful. I'm like, why are you here? Like, you can go out here and get anybody. Why are you here? So once we connected on there and we started talking, like, the vibe immediately was, like, on point. I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, we connect on a lot of different levels. We had a lot in common. And then it just went from there. So I was just like, yep, that's it, man. I even told my homeboys, I was like, y'all, if I connect with this woman, if me and her match, if I come back on here and I found out me and her match, I said, I promise y'all, I'm locking it down.
Oh, D Nice has been married for 25 years. He said y'all on the same page.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So he knew. So, ladies, these men on here are telling y'all, like, they know. So all of this dating for, 10, 11 years, that's gotta stop. Like, don't be up in here in no relationship with somebody for 10, 11 years, because what is the end goal? Like, they know, ladies. Like, for the men in here, if you are a man and you in this chat and you're married, right? Because if you single, you still out here looking. But if you're married and you knew, let us know you knew, because women, I don't know, some women think men need to search and find and all of this other stuff. No, they know within the first few times they're really around you. Like, they know. I spent so much of my life, 10 years of my life, chasing somebody that I thought wanted me, that I wanted, wanted, because don't want them no more. All right. Because once you come to that point where, and that's another thing, like once you come to that point where it's time to cut it off, you have to make that decision to cut it off. Like, don't keep entertaining those feelings, entertaining that, hey, big head, or hey, I miss you, what you doing? No. Once I cut that off and I decided I'm done, I'm done. Like, I can see him today and there's nothing, because I got this fine man right here. Thank you, Jesus, because won't he do it? So, yeah, like, they don't have to jump through hoops. They know, ladies. We don't have to sit here and wait.
And I think for men, too, a lot of the reasons why men will date women and be in relationships with them for long periods of time without actually marrying them is because they're already getting the marriage without actually having to propose and put, a ring on it.
Right. It's like that women, saying, why buy the cow when you getting the milk for free?
Yeah, so it's like, and it's not to blame any women,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of women give so much of themselves so fast and right up front, like moving guys in within, a few weeks and all this kind of stuff like that, and you're not even really sure where it's going to go. And there's nothing wrong with that, to each their own. If that's what you choose to do, that's what you choose to do. I just say be careful in those moments. Don't give yourself too much away that it doesn't give the man nothing to look forward to, or don't give him a reason to want to, propose or move forward with anything. Because it's like, I'm already getting the best of both worlds right now. Like, they'll come with excuses like, why we got to mess this up? We got a good thing going, or, we understand what we got. Saying some men may not be in that mindset to realize, being married and stuff like that, it means a lot to some women. So you just have to be careful with that, ladies.
Yes, and, I've met a lot of women who feel like they don't want to give an ultimatum. Like, they don't want to, because they feel like that's forcing the guy to propose at that point. Like, if I tell him, well, if you don't propose by this time, I'm out. But okay, what is your standard for yourself then? Are you just going to sit in this situationship, because that's what we gonna call it after a certain time, because he's clearly not putting his intentions out there. So, and like he said, that's not to blame anyone, because I did that thinking somebody was gonna change and propose. This person never took me around people. Let me tell you something. Like, if a guy is into you, he gonna introduce you to everybody. Like, he introduced me to everybody. I didn't have to sit here and beg him to be introduced. But like, so many of us will sit there and accept that. And I truly believe it's because, a lot of people don't want to be alone. So settling is a huge thing. People will rather settle to say they have somebody than to be alone and work on themselves and wait on that person that God has for them. And let me tell you, the alone process is hard.
Very hard.
I'm not sitting here saying it's easy, because I got a man sitting next to me. I know how that is when you're single. You don't be telling me to be alone and you got a man to get in bed with. Listen, I understand that. I have been there.
Yeah, we both been through periods of being alone, so
we don't sit here and tell y'all nothing that we have not been through. But we both have had to just sit in that alone space and wait. That's how we found each other. If we had been out just trying to do whatever, run the streets, like, we wouldn't have found each other, because we would have been out there trying to find everybody else. Like, if I got another dude all up in my face, how am I going to see him? And vice versa. If he got all these chicks in his face surrounding him, how is he going to see me? So it's like, you have to be alone and open to that in order to see that person that is even for you.
Yeah. And it just make sure you upfront with your intentions and everything upfront. Like, even if you feel like the guy may not be being upfront or whatever, you just always let it be known, hey, look, eventually I want to get married. You know what I'm saying? If I still want to have kids, or if you still want to have kids, whatever the case, like, you got to let that be known, and then let the guy kind of know upfront, like, this is, I'm not just out here just casually dating. Like, I'm dating with a purpose. I'm dating to eventually one day be married, and kind of give the ultimatums up front. Like, eventually, I want to get married. Mm-hmm. And if you're in that state where you're not, looking long term or not trying to be married, go ahead and cut those people out immediately. Don't even entertain the people that's just going to be around, for a short time or not looking for nothing long term. They're just looking to kind of like just date here and there. You don't want to do that. Go ahead and let it be known up front. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm trying to do. And go from there. You know what I'm saying? That'll save you a lot of time.
And Cammie said it seems like men run with the thought of that, and I'm guessing she's talking about the ultimatum, like telling them like, hey, I want to be married.
Absolutely.
If we not like,
and if they run, let them run.
Bye.
I mean that obviously means that they weren't really trying to be there long term anyway. So you kind of go ahead and cut that out. That's why I said be upfront with that first.
Right.
Like in the first initial conversations, the first initial dating and stuff like that, when y'all getting to know each other, let those things be known. Don't wait until you're in it to start giving ultimatums. I feel like you should get an ultimatum up front. Like, look, listen, this is what I'm trying to do. These are my plans. These are my goals. If you're not trying to align up with that, gotta on to the next.
Because dating is supposed to be with a purpose, right?
Right.
So the dating. So first of all, here we go, right? Singleness, we're working on ourselves. We're getting ourselves together. We're building our own table. When somebody else comes in the situation, it shouldn't be like, oh, what you bringing to the table. Sis should already have that table laid out. We got the table built. That's the single days. You meet somebody, y'all start talking. The goal of talking is to become exclusive. Get in a relationship. The goal of a relationship is to become engaged. Become engaged, to get married, to build a life with each other. The goal of the engagement, like I said, is to get married. The goal of marriage is to then work together to fulfill that purpose that the two of you are meant to fulfill together, doing life together, whether it be coming together to raise a family, raise your kids, build businesses, pour back into people. Like, this is what we do together. We get on here, we go live, we pour into people, we talk about, we're trying to shed a positive light back on marriage, relationships, all of that, because a lot of people out here don't want to be married because they've been hurt so much. But the thing is, all of us have. But if you go off of, oh, well, this person hurt me, so I'm never going to do that again, we would be walking through life like that. We can't walk through life like that. If the grocery store does you wrong, they cheat you, you going to stop going to the grocery store? No, you're going to go back and you're going to be careful. You're going to count your money twice. You're going to be careful about that thing, but you're going to go back. So it should be the same thing with dating. It should be the same thing with relationships, marriages, all of that. It shouldn't be, oh, this guy cheated on me, so I'm never going to get married again. That was me, right? No, it should be, he cheated on me. What lesson can I learn from that and take into my next relationship so that don't happen to me again? But I'm not going to treat this guy like he's that one. That guy cheated. He did not. So when things start to look like they did in that old relationship, it's up to me to look inward. Like, just because he's on his phone texting does not mean he texting Mary, Sue, Jane, and whoever. He could be doing work stuff. So some of that stuff is on us to check within ourselves. But now, if he texting, hiding the phone, every time you walk around, he got to put it down and all of that. Now that starts to look, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's probably a duck. So we going to talk about it. Like, hey, I noticed every time I come around you, you putting your phone down. Is there a reason why that is?
And what you have to do too, you don't want to take anything from the past and bring it into your new relationship. Exactly. You don't want to, project anything that others have done to you wrong and put that, into your new relationship or project that on your new person. So to eliminate a lot of that stuff, that's where it comes with the open lines of communication. You have to let your partner know, or just have talks and let them know, like, hey, I've been hurt before. It's okay to be open about your traumas because that's what you want to do. And you have to let the person know, like, certain things, trigger me. Certain things make me, feel a certain type of way or whatever. So, when I feel like if you be open like that, oh yeah, that's what we just talking about right now. So yeah, definitely want to talk about your past because, you can get to the point where like different things will trigger you. So that way, if say for instance, for example, what she was saying about the texting on the phone. You know, if I know texting was an issue in her past relationship where the person was cheating, or every time she came around, the person was hiding their phone, blah, blah, blah. If I'm texting and I can see her looking or anything like that, you know, I would let her know, like, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. Flash the phone, show her what I'm doing.
Because y'all know our eyes be going over there, ladies.
And it's crazy because in our relationship, I used to, like, early on in the beginning of our relationship, it wasn't like a full blown, like she didn't trust me or anything like that. But she would glance every now and then, like when I'm on my phone. I'm like, hey, I'm just, you know.
Because I would show her I'm either
playing games. Because me, I like playing like my mobile games, especially late at night, man. I be in bed with it. I be bowling, playing baseball, all kind of stuff. And then they just brought back my favorite little ninja game I be playing. So, but anyway, when I used to do that and I would see her look and I knew from past things, you know, from different things she would tell me, I would show her like, babe, this is what I'm doing, or this is, you know what I'm saying, what's going on or whatever.
Right.
So I feel like if you're open and upfront and let your partner know different things that trigger you, that will help. Especially if the person really, truly, genuinely cares about you. They will take all those trigger warnings and different things into consideration. And, you know, and try to ease that for you if they see you looking a certain way.
Is that because you hurt? Yeah, like, you know, things happened in my past. Like, I was cheated on in multiple relationships. So I was one of those people that would generalize everything that men do. Now, I started my healing process. I went to therapy, all of that. When I met him, I wasn't the same person I was. So was I still hurt? No. However, even if you do the work, you go to therapy, you heal those areas, there are still things that you will see that might cause you to be triggered by it and take you back. So your brain is going to remember anything that's like a trauma. Being cheated on is a trauma that you have to heal from. You have to get over. It's a loss of trust. You have to learn how to build trust back up in other people. Just like if you meet a stranger, because that's what happens when two people meet, right? We're strangers. We're learning each other. We're trying to get to know each other. You don't just get all of my trust off jump. So, you know, while I don't not trust you, I don't fully trust you either, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not about to sit here and pour my heart out to him and we just met yesterday.
Because people use that against you,
exactly.
Right from the jump. They'll try to imitate or emulate themselves in ways that, you know, to make them seem like they're the perfect guy or the perfect woman based off of the things that you've opened up completely and told them. So that goes back to, again, don't give so much of yourself like right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? You gotta. It's continually gonna be a work in progress. So just kind of give enough to keep going, to keep working, keep learning, keep growing. He's gonna keep doing this. But if you just lay it all on the table right in the beginning, a guy can be like, okay, I could take that.
And he created that space.
And boom, now I seem like I'm the perfect guy because you laid out the blueprint for me.
Right. So, and he created that space for me to continue to heal with him. Most people, if you just like, you know, they do something to trigger you and like, hey, well, what are you doing? Because every time I walk past you, it seems like you put your phone down. Is it something work related or is it with me? Most of the time, how cheating starts off is another person comes in and they're the person who cheats is vulnerable. Like their partner isn't doing something for them. So it starts off with that communication. So if you're not feeling your partner with that communication and they're seeking it in another place, then some people are going to give in to that. But if that space is not even there, like with us, we talk so much and we know so much about each other and we're still trying to learn each other so much every day because that's just, we love each other like that. There's nobody that can come in to even open that door for us. Like if another guy came and tried to talk to me, it would be a quick conversation because it's like, I talk to my husband. I don't need, like guys that ask, can you have friends? No, not your type of friend, because I know what type of friend you trying to be. You not trying to just be a platonic friend. You want to be an open friend, and we're not open.
Yeah.
You know, so
This is a test. When you go out on a date, look at how many times they look at their phone. Yeah,
yes.
that's true too. That is definitely true
When
too.
we first
Especially on your
started
first.
dating, we didn't even have our phones out.
Yeah, like we literally would just sit at the table, on Sunday nights and literally just talk,
Talk.
have music going, and just have good conversation, man. Like literally.
The most that, like, this is the most we have our phones out is because we're trying to like build up our TikTok accounts and all of that. So the most that we'll be out is like we'll be watching a movie or something and I'll post a quick TikTok or something like that. But other than that, we don't, like, when we're spending time together, we don't sit on the phone and text and all of that stuff. Like, my friends will text me, and if they don't get a response to an hour later, it's probably because I'm spending time with my husband.
And
Because
vice versa.
at the end of the day, this is the person that you're with every day. It's person you have to build a life with. Like, I feel like your friends will understand that. Your family will understand that. If it's an emergency, that's another thing.
Yeah.
But like, if we're actually having a date night, we make a conscious decision
Phones
to put
down.
this down because we're spending time together. That's the whole point.
And we do it with our kids too. Like when we eat and we have family dinners and stuff like that. Like we would
We
literally
make them talk.
put the phone down and we go around and tell you how was your day? How was school? What's going on in your life? You know what I'm saying? Like we don't just have open communication with ourselves. We do it with our kids as well. Life y'all touch on when y'all go out with probably with your partner or by yourself. That's a good one. I know a lot of people when they get in relationships and stuff like that, and even marriages, they don't like to go anywhere without, you know what I'm saying, their wife or their husband. And we're like that at times. But I make it my point to tell her to go out, have your me time, hang with your girls, hang with your friends. You know what I'm saying? She needs that. And she gives me that opportunity, to hang with my guys as well too. When I go out by myself versus with her, there's really no difference. Only difference is I just don't have, what I'm saying, my main best friend with me. But the way that I move and operate is the same. I go out, I hang with my guys, we have some fun, kick it, then, what I'm saying, I'm back home with her. There's really no difference. Like I don't go out with my guys and then, act like I'm single, I'm one of the guys when I'm with the guys and then put my wedding ring on and then go back home. I don't have to do that. Like I'm comfortable with, being married and being out. And I definitely be wanting her to go out and have her me time and stuff like that because without her, outside of her working, a full-time job, she teaches multiple classes at her dance and fitness studio, like every day, like Monday through Thursday, she has something going on. So when it comes time where she can have some free time and do some things with her friends, like I'll be wanting her to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like she'll take trips. Like, babe, go ahead. Like I hold the house down. Like I got the kids. Like
if he go out,
do
y'all,
that.
because he had the opportunity to go out this weekend because he's a professional roller skater. If y'all didn't know,
I'm not.
But they
not a
had
professional.
they had their event this weekend, and he stayed home most of the time. Like he only went out and went skating with them once, and I was just like, "Why you not going?" And he's just like, "I'd rather spend time with you." And I'm like, "Man, like." You pray, like I prayed for something like that. Like if your significant other never wants to be at home with you, it's about time to start looking at the house and looking at the atmosphere to see why. So the fact that I've created this atmosphere and we've created this atmosphere at home where we want to be around each other, I'm like, I've been praying for that. So yeah, but I still wanted him to go out. But
and it wasn't even like, like it was I had to be home type deal. I even told her, like, this particular event, it happens every year in Atlanta. And last year when the event happened, we were just in the dating, phase of our relationship. So fast forward to now, this year, we went through the engagement phase, being married. So now this party came back around and I'm I'm married now. And it hit different for me this year being married because like my wife is literally like my best friend. So I got a chance to go out, skate with my crew or whatever, because most of them are from Chicago. we kind of like all spread out, like in Chicago, Jacksonville, Florida, Savannah, stuff like that. So when we have these big events, we all come up and we'll meet together at like the big events or whatever. So I got a chance to meet up with them, got a chance to hang out with them. We skated, I think, Friday night. And then Saturday, we all went out to lunch. We went out to a little day party or whatever. And that was good enough for me. Like I said, the skating thing is going to be there, man. Like I said, we didn't have the kids that weekend.
Yeah.
The skate session was already from 12 to 5. And I'm like, we don't got the kids. You know what I'm saying? It's a late night session. Like, skating going to be there. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that pressing where, like, I had to go.
Right.
I was just more comfortable, being at home with my wife, man.
So D-Nice says the exercise he does is to name 5 things you like about the person or 5 things you don't like about the person.
That'd be something you guys could try.
Yeah. And like for us, we talk about those things. Like I'll ask him like, what's some things you can, like if you could change something about me, like what would you change? His answer always, he wouldn't change nothing because that's what makes me me. I'm not sure if that's the truth. When we get to heaven, I'm going to find out. But that'd be his answer.
It's the truth. I can say that. I can say that right here on the live. It's the truth. I wouldn't change anything about you because, like I said, that's what makes you you. Everybody's unique. We have our own, ways of doing things. We have our flaws. Nobody's perfect. But even with your flaws and imperfections, like you're still an amazing, beautiful person. So I wouldn't want to change that about you because, it's what makes you you.
Now y'all see why
like
I love
the
him.
things, like even with. See, you made me lose my train of thought.
That was so sweet. That touched me right here.
I mean, that's just real. You know what I'm saying? It's just. We all gonna have our flaws. We all gonna do things to get on each other's nerves. But I can say like it's nothing that I dislike about you because like we talk about things so much. So if I feel a way about anything, I don't have to voice, well, babe, I don't really like this, I don't really like that, because in our natural conversations that we have, we voice different things that we, not comfortable with, or different things that may have made us feel a certain way, and we correct that stuff. So it doesn't leave room for anything to dislike about you.
That's so sweet. Me, on the other hand, I'm just playing.
Whoa, wait a minute.
That's so sweet. So Cammy said, can you both share a takeaway from marriage counseling? My favorite takeaway from marriage counseling, I'm going to start because I'll forget, because y'all know that I be all over the place. My favorite takeaway from marriage counseling is when we talked about Adam and Eve. We're Christians, so if you didn't know, now you know. We believe in God, in Jesus. But we talked about Adam and Eve, and we talked about how when God created Adam and Eve, he created them to be naked and unashamed in front of each other. So, when they were brought into the world, when they were placed here in front of each other, they were both naked, they were both unashamed. And so the analogy came in that that's how you should be with your partner. So when it comes to you and your partner, you should be naked and unashamed, meaning you should be able to share anything with this person and vice versa. And you shouldn't feel ashamed about what you are talking about with that person. So an example is, we don't talk about it a lot, but, the one thing we did talk about was when I was afraid to tell him about my health condition. So when we first got together, I was just like, there's something, thank you so much, because my back is killing me. I was just like, there's something that I want to talk to you about, but I'm really scared to talk to you about it.
So scared.
I was petrified. Like, I thought if I tell this man about my condition, he's going to leave me, like, for sure. Like, that's it. And so I prayed so hard about it because I was afraid. And so I came to him and I told him, I said, you know, I have rheumatoid arthritis. So I've had rheumatoid arthritis since the first grade. I didn't say rheumatoid
Let's go back
arthritis.
a little bit. Let's go back a little bit.
He gonna tell you all the details.
She trying to spell it out. She like I didn't know all these medical terms and stuff like that.
I said RA.
I got RA. I'm like, okay.
He was looking so lost. Like he was gonna make me say it and talk about it. And I don't even like talking about it to this day.
I kept saying, okay, like what is that? You don't know.
Even talking about it with y'all is like difficult because I just don't like to talk about it.
And then after so many questions, she finally came out and said the words, I have rheumatoid arthritis. And I'm still looking at her like,
I said it easily right now. I just said it.
But yeah, you said it easily then. But I'm like, back then when you was telling me, it was just like, you had to like,
it took so many steps. Like I went around so many bushes to get to the point
where I was the same way when she first said I'm like, okay.
But the point of me saying that is
that was my response.
Like when I told him like I have rheumatoid arthritis, I'm like, this can, like the older I get, my joints can deteriorate. Like I could end up possibly not being able to walk by myself or do certain things. Like you'll have to do certain things for me. And he was just looking at me like, okay.
I told her straight up, I'm like, okay, like I'm not gonna leave. Like when we'll cross those bridges when we get there. Like that's not gonna make me leave. Like
and let me tell y'all something. That was the key. That was the safe environment key that I needed to open up to him from right then and on. So when I talk about naked and unashamed, it should be nothing that you can't talk to your partner about. Like that was hard for me. It was hard for me talking about some things that happened in my childhood or in my teenage years or in my past marriages. Like all of that stuff was hard. But when I brought it to him, it was no judgment. He made me feel safe to talk about it. And he didn't make me open up about anything that I didn't want to open up about at that time. So if he didn't know what it was, like he was saying, like he would ask the question. But if I wasn't ready to say, like he wouldn't pressure me to say. He would just be like, babe, whenever you're ready to talk about it, we can talk about it.
Just know I'm here.
That's what I love about you.
My biggest takeaway from marriage counseling was the part where we started to break down our assessments. So going into marriage counseling, we both had to take these assessments.
It was so long.
And we had to do them. We had to do them separately. So I didn't know where her answers were going to be. She didn't know where my answers were going to be. But once we got to that section in the marriage counseling, for me it was refreshing. It was like overwhelming at times because I knew we were connected, but now I can actually see our like connection physically in front of me on paper. Like some of our answers with different things we would answer in our assessments matched up with each other. It showed the balance that we have for each other, the areas where she's weak in, you know, I'm stronger or will build her up in those areas, and vice versa. Areas where I'm weak and not really, you know, good in certain areas, she would balance me out. And actually seeing that, like in marriage counseling, that it just
on
further,
paper.
Yeah, it just further like just let me know, like
it was confirmation because it was like
it was overwhelming at some point.
Right.
Like, wow.
It was like for me, I'm not emotional. I'm more of the realist. I'm factual based. It's facts for me. He's more of the emotions, not so much idealistic, but like he hopes for the
very
best.
optimistic.
Like he's fairy tale optimistic. I am fact. I have to see it to believe it. So when she told us how those offset each other, like how they're a good match for each other, because we would balance each other out. Like we just were like, oh. So like a lot of our assessment was just like, you balance each other out. Like you are
like a perfect
match for this person. And we was like, dang, Tinder, y'all need to be paying us to advertise for y'all for real.
So that was my biggest takeaway, man. For real.
Yes. So D Nice wanted us to touch on in-laws.
In-laws and friends.
And
I saw
friends,
that.
yeah.
Ooh. In-laws and
Why are
friends.
you thinking about it so
No,
hard?
because I was trying to think about how I wanted to go, with that. But when you get married, you're gonna realize and come to find out that you will have some in-laws and some friends who may not agree with what you have going on, may not support what you have going on, and you just have to live and navigate, through that. You have to understand that not everybody is gonna support what you have going on, and that's okay. It's not for them. You have to live your life and, live through your purpose in your marriage based off of each other and the life that y'all trying to build. You can't live your life and live your marriage based off of family and friends and what they think and how they view certain stuff. It's not about them.
Right.
We
you
are
leave
one.
and cleave.
Yes.
So you leave and you cleave to your husband or your wife. Like, your family and your friends are outside. This is inside. It's you, God, and your spouse. So, while you would love the support of your family and friends, like, you would love to have it, if you don't have it, that doesn't dictate your marriage. It doesn't dictate your relationship in the direction it goes. It should not. Like, you should have in your mind set, like, whether our family is here for us or not, we have each other. And we have God. So as long as God is the glue that's holding the marriage together and you're built on a solid foundation, you'll be fine. Like, I believe that the people in your life, I truly believe this, are either meant to be in your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. So you have people in your life who are seasonal. You have people in your life who are meant to come in your life to teach you lessons. And then you have lifetime people. And so in your marriage or in your relationship, you have to determine what person is talking to you. Like, what person are you dealing with? Are you dealing with an opinion of somebody who is seasonal? Are you dealing with an opinion from somebody who's in your life just to teach you a lesson and they're not even a seasonal or a permanent person? Are you talking to somebody who's meant to be in your life for a lifetime? Like, that makes a difference on how much of that opinion matters. But at the end of the day, you and your spouse have to work that thing out. You and your partner have to work that thing out and talk it out and decide to do this together. So, I mean, a relationship with your in-laws is important. A relationship with friends is very important. But at the end of the day, this is your partner that you decided to spend the rest of your life with. And if your house, because a house divided can't stand. So if your house is not on the same page, you're not on one accord together, those outside opinions that you letting come in, tear your house apart, is going to have you outside on the street or sleeping in separate places, divorced from the person that God might have had for you. So that's how much of that matters, in this house.
And also too, with in-laws and friends, you have to be careful when you're talking to them about your relationship
And
you know what I'm
problems.
saying? And your problems. You definitely don't want to run to in-laws, and you definitely don't want to run to friends, especially if they're single friends, about any, you know what I'm saying? And even if they're not, you definitely don't want to just give them any and everything or all the details about problems that you are dealing with within your marriage with your spouse, or any relationship problems or anything like that. Like, you don't ever want to give out that information. Like, whatever happens in-house, it needs to, be resolved in-house. Because what'll happen is, every time something happens, you keep running to your in-laws, or keep running to your friends, telling them, oh man, she do this, or she don't do this, or she gives someone a blah, blah, blah. Now, you're putting this perception in your in-laws and friends' heads that she ain't, she ain't no good, or why are you with her? Y'all done went back home and made up, but your in-laws and friends are still looking at, your spouse a certain way because you just came to me and talked to me about they're not doing this or they're treating you like this. But then, like, now I see y'all all lovey-dovey again. Like, what's going on? So, like, you don't want to bring even, like, open that can of worms when it
Right.
comes to dealing with your friends and in-laws.
And shoot, some of your friends might want you to stay single and miserable. So you got to look at that too. Shoot, some of them might want to ease up into your relationship where your man is at. So they giving you advice to go ahead and separate you from him or whatnot. So you have to look at all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to look at that. You have to truly be on one accord with your spouse. You have to be like on the same page all the time so that can't no outsiders come in and break that up. We are never going to tell somebody else how to run their household because that's what works for them. So I've been in a marriage before. One of my marriages, he didn't have a bank account. Y'all want to know why? Because I spent 5 years taking care of him. He didn't work. So that situation, let me tell you, ladies, unless your man is disabled, please do not let a man sit up in your house, play video games all day. And I'm not judging nobody. I'm telling y'all what he did in my house. Because we going to call that my house because I was paying all the bills. Right. So don't let a man sit up in your house, play video games. You have to cook, clean, wash the clothes, and then he got the nerve to be borrowing the car to go places. Don't have a car. I bought him a car. So ladies, let me tell you something. When I get on here and y'all see that I'm passionate about something and I'm sharing from my heart and I get real into it, it's because I've been through that. Don't let the fact that we just got married in November fool y'all. I've been married before. Like, I know what this is like. I know what I don't want, and I know what I deserve. So, you know, we teach y'all stuff that we've learned in life. So don't let the fact of, oh, they don't know what they talking about fool you, because we know what we talking about. So don't go through that, ladies. All right. Yeah. I'm about to go off on a whole different tangent. So he about to stop me because he already know I get excited.
Talk about how do you do chores around the house.
Equally.
Yeah, that just comes with, if you see a need, feel that need. Like, don't wait for somebody else to do it. If you see something needs to get done around the house, we'll do it. The only thing that's mandatory for me that she doesn't touch is the trash.
Oh, yeah,
like,
he don't let me touch
I
trash.
don't touch the trash at all. Like, I don't want her cutting the grass, but she had to, like, explain to me, you know, some of her reasonings, like, why she like to cut the grass. Like, it be hot, she'll put a sweatband on, she'll get out there, she'll cut the grass, and like, it's exercise for her. So I'll let her do that. Like, while she may be cutting, I'm gonna be out there, you know, pulling something, or like, we gonna be out there together. She just ain't gonna be out there just cutting the grass.
Looking like Miss Parker.
Yeah, we're not doing that. But outside of that, those are the only, like, the main thing I really don't want her touching is like the trash and stuff like that. But anything else around the house, if it needs to get done, we will jointly, you know, make sure that it gets taken care of.
Yeah, and if he doesn't do it, our son Ryan does it. So none of the girls in the house or women, like me, Kayla, Skylar, none of us empty trash cans in the house. Even the little trash cans. Like, if he not doing it, Ryan gonna do it. Like, he's very much set on that, and I'm very much thankful because I don't want to touch the trash ever. I had to touch the trash when I was single. I was the one, and ladies, single ladies on here, listen, I didn't always have a man to take the trash out for me. So if you out here and you have to take your own trash out, that's fine. Like, that's part of being single. Some of the things we need to learn and know how to do for ourselves. I learned how to cut my grass because I didn't have a man, and I wasn't about to just call up any random dude to come to my house and cut my grass. Like, no, I'm not about to just sit here and play damsel in distress. I'm going to teach myself. So when I was single, I bought a lawnmower and I cut my grass until I got it right. And guess what, y'all? My yard, when I was doing the yard, won best yard in the neighborhood. And everybody was asking me, who does your landscape and who cuts your grass? All the guys was salty in the neighborhood because when they found out that I cut the grass, they were like, this was before I met him, y'all, but they were salty because I don't know what the perception is, but I'm saying that to say, women, you can do that stuff yourself while you're single.
It is okay for y'all ladies to, you know what I'm saying, to do those things on your own and all that. But, big but, don't get too independent to the point where when you do find a man, you don't know how to let those reins go and let that man fill in and do what he was supposed to do. Because I see that happen, you know what I'm saying, sometimes too. My wife was like that. Yeah, I could say that while she walked away.
I can still hear you.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know you could hear me in the kitchen.
I can still hear you.
But yeah, like with the whole grass thing, you know what I'm saying, she was so used to cutting the grass. She was so used to doing a lot of things around the house. It took her a minute to get used to kind of doing things, you know, on her own or let me do things or whatever, because she had got so used to doing things on her own.
Right.
So me coming in, like not letting her pick up anything, not letting her do anything, like I got it. Yeah, she had to get used to it.
Yeah.
So.
And since we talking about roles and chores and all that, I went in the kitchen and got this because while I was cooking while I was teaching class tonight, I came home. Now, mind you, we had the same thing on Sunday, but I came home and look what he created for tonight's dinner. So he cooks, okay? Like, it ain't just the woman in here cooking. I came home from work, teaching class. He was here all day. He made dinner. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's everything you would want in a dinner. Yeah, we about to tear this up, y'all. We smelling it on the live. Don't eat that on the live. He's going to eat it on the live anyway. I'm taking it back in the kitchen because I knew you were going to do that. But I just wanted to show y'all there's no rolls in this house.
How you just going to come put that in front of me? You know I'm going to taste it. Just like you just ate one. Yeah, anytime I get in the kitchen and cook for her, man, or anytime I can like get in and do something to eliminate, you know, like the stress off of her or give her a break from doing something, I'm going to do it.
We really enjoy getting on here talking to y'all. We enjoy all the questions. We enjoy sharing our insight. But please keep in mind, we don't profess to be professionals. We just talk about what we've been through in life and we keep it real. We don't sugarcoat nothing. We tell y'all how it is, how we've experienced it, and we go from there. So yeah, this is an open space. No judgment. Share your opinions. We share ours. Mm-hmm. Our opinion is our opinion. Your opinion is your opinion. We don't pass judgment just like we don't on each other. So yeah, feel free to get on, talk to us, chat with us. We're real people just like y'all are. This is just a phone, but we're real people that you can touch in real life, and y'all are too. So, you know, on our page, we always say we're looking for genuine people to connect with. Yes. So if you're looking for that, like people to connect with, become a community with, you want to join our family. United Family is our name we came up with when we got married because we were blending our families, but we're also blending our social media families. So once you hit follow on our page, you don't become a follower to us, you become like family. And so we treat you like family. So if you're not following us, go ahead and follow us. If you don't want to follow us, you don't have to. We're not for everybody. But for those people that we're meant for, we're here for you. So we appreciate all the love. Thank y'all for all the support tonight. And yeah, we will definitely check y'all out next time.
Yeah, man. We appreciate all the love, all the comments. We appreciate all the roses and gifts, likes, anything. And again, like we're here every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please, y'all make sure y'all follow us. Keep up with what we have going on. You know what I'm saying? We love you guys. Y'all could have been anywhere else in the world tonight, but y'all were here tuned in with us, and we appreciate that.
We definitely appreciate y'all. We will see y'all next time.